ready for a Tommy Turbo Masterclass. Teamless Tuesday is here. And the boys are hard as a rock. Don't be a weak-gutted dog. Leave that for Jamin Salmon. Get ready for the best Supercoach show on the planet. It's so good, it's better than Lego. You're now listening to the Supercoach Experience Podcast. Here's your host, Brandon Savage.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Supercoach Experience. I'm your host, Ryan Hadley, the coach of 2GB. Yes, that's right, Sav's not here with us today. He's gone down with, well, I think he says COVID. I'm not too sure. I think
Suspected
it's
COVID,
case of the man flu or something like that, or just didn't want to join us today. I'm joined by our 2021 champion, and he told me a lot about it during the week, about how great he is. The coach of the Villy Army.
That's right.
Timmy Moody, how are you, mate?
Yeah, that's right. Every now and then some people get a little chirpy in the chat, like to remind me that they're doing a little better than me, and I just have to chirp back and put them back in their place. And yeah, Ryan knows how that feels. So you mess with the bull, you get the horns. Good, as they say. Good
stuff, mate. Good stuff. How was your week this week? Enjoy the footy. Yeah, tell me all about it.
Yeah, great weekend of footy. Look, I did what I said I was going to do. I sold Hines for Cleary, which is pretty nuts. It's pretty unnecessary. They're both very, very good and both score very, very well. I just wanted to have Nath in my side, so I just thought I'm just going to do it, and it did allow me to also upgrade Will Kennedy to Teddy. Teddy was a very high scorer. Yeah. I might have been one of the highest scorers of the
round.
Have
been the high.
Yeah,
just about.
Yep, from definitely in my side anyway. Scoring about a 137, I think, and then Kennedy scored 111. Yeah. Now, I've had Kennedy for about 6 weeks. That's
frustrating, isn't it?
And I think he's probably scored about 111 points over that 6 weeks prior to that. Then I sell him and he just scores 111 in 1 week. So that was annoying. But to look at the positive of it, it actually got me a win in my most important head-to-head. I've got a $1,000 buy-in.
That one trade, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was playing Joe Nadev, the 2020 champion. Ended up winning 1,221 to 1,214. So those extra points, it wasn't much. I think I haven't counted. It's about 40 points. Yeah, of my trades. Got me that win, and it was very important because
you would have been absolutely laughing on Sunday afternoon at halftime of that Sharks game when Nico was on 11 points or something like that.
I'm just going, this is too good to be true.
Absolutely.
Because
and it was. Yeah. In the end, it was.
And I had some bets on which I needed some of the Sharkies boys to score, so I was sort of like, oh no, because Nico was sort of getting some wins for that, which was dumb for Supercoach, but my bets were now getting up.
I was sitting at Bluebet Stadium tossing up for the hour that I was there waiting for the Penrith game to start, going Captain Cleary, Captain Hines, which do I do? Captain Cleary.
You know, at that Cleary. Stadium though, it can get no reception sometimes.
Awful. So I the whole week I had it on Cleary, and then I went to Hines as I was like in the car going to the game. Just about got to the stadium and I saw Nath run out, had the ball in one hand, just jogged out real cruisy. I was like, I was channeling my inner Timmy Moody. I'm going, he looks hot to trot.
I was up
today.
Supercoach.
He looks good. And then I was like, wait, just relax. Let's just make sure he's kicking goals first. Because I said hamstring injury. You know, I saw a photo during the week before that he was practicing.
Go tick the boxes.
That he was practicing his goal kicking. Saw him take 2-3 kicks, and I was like, all right, it's on. Went to change it, and my Supercoach wasn't loading. I was like, oh no, panic. But I got there in time. Wasn't chuffed with the 70 odd that he had at the time before the updates. But then when I got home and saw Hines was on 11, I was laughing. But then, as we know, Hines kind of kicked on. But today we're at the DM Podcast Studios. We'll cover some hot topics, the guns we're going to get in. The week that was, we've got some old guns like your Teddies starting to surge, starting to do well. And those new guns that we've got, Scott Drinkwater, Kalen Ponga, are they out of reach for us now? Are they out of reach? They're kicking on, and as a non-owner of both of them, it's been a tough few weeks, and I'm wrapping my head to see how we go. I had 1261 last week. I haven't been on for a couple of weeks, but my rank kind of dropped from 70th to in the 300s pretty quickly. I had a shocker of a week 2 weeks ago when everyone went big and I didn't have any of them. Went up 20 spots this week to a rank of 360. I want to start though, Timmy. You are a champion, and I
Thank you.
I'm going to reference that a lot today because I feel bad for talking shit about you in,
No, that's
in the
fine.
chat
I
during
just,
the week.
I needed to remind you of the past. See, as a solid super coach, Hads, I do respect you, but you need to respect the past.
That's fine. I appreciate it. Respect those that have gone before you.
That's right.
I want to talk to you about general strategy at this point of the year. It can kind of get a little bit dull for some, especially like listening to podcasts talking about the same sort of things at the stage where everyone's kind of generally doing the same sort of thing. We often talk about our own teams and what we do with our own teams and give each other advice, and that's one of the main reasons I started coming on the pod was because
Get some good advice.
I just want some good advice and talk footy because I love it.
Yeah, but
I'm going to throw some scenarios at you for those listeners that are out there that kind of don't know what to do, what's going to happen. We've got some questions later that'll be a little bit more specific, but you can start with your own position. What's your head-to-head focus for the rest of this year? You've kind of let the overalls kind of slipped away out of reach.
Completely.
And you're kind of not worried about it. And you've got some money riding on some head-to-head leagues, which is good. What's your strategy for going forward? What are you going to do? How many trades do you have left? And I don't need to know players. I just need to know general kind of idea what you're going to do.
Well, I've got 4 trades left, making 2 last week that weren't overly necessary, kind of hurt me. I could have strengthened my side a lot of other ways. I feel good about having Nath this week, I will say, against the Sharks and not having a whole bunch of Sharks. I would have had 5 Sharks coming up against Penrith this week, which would have been awkward. So now I'm down to 3 and probably only going to have to play 1, which is good. My strategy, it's really trying to, work out to make the most of what I've got. You know what I mean? Obviously, my rank's gone to crap. I'm about 9,000th. I do have many head-to-heads I'm out of the picture of or just kind of on the fringes, but there are 2 really nice ones that if I win these, it's actually a win for the year. Like, it's a big win for the year. So I'm going to just reassess, put myself into that mindset of those trying to win those 2. So I need to sort of like have a look at my opponents each week. Do I think I can beat this opponent without needing to trade this week or not, sort of thing? Who do I think they're going to captain, that sort of stuff? For me, I'm stuck in a really bit of a weird pickle because I kind of want to trade this week. I'm looking at my bench and I'm kind of am forced into playing maybe Katoa or Mulatalo, and it's just a bit like, oh, no, that's a loss for me there. So I need to trade, but the thing is, I'm kind of like checkmated myself. I really, really want, with my final trades, Warriors players.
Yeah.
They're on the buy.
We'll get to that later, I know.
So to strengthen my side this week, I can't really get those guys.
Yeah.
So I think I can only bring in 1 Warriors player. I wanted to bring in 2, so I think I'm going to probably bring in.
Will only be able to, or you're choosing to?
Probably only going to be able to bring in 1 next week. That'll probably be Chance over Dallin. I kind of need to do something this week, so I need to downgrade somewhere, but I kind of think I'd like it to be a playable player, even if it's someone that comes in or out, preferably someone that's not going to be an AE nightmare, so someone that's going to either be in the side or not. It's hard to pick that.
Got one for you later, but we'll speak about that when we get there. So I'm taking from that is you're going to look at your matchup, look at your head-to-heads coming up as well, and to see and targets and matchups head-to-head wise that you're going to do. Now, let's
Warriors players, I think,
100%,
for head-to-head play or for anything, I just think they're really looking nice now.
And we'll touch on that. And let's flip that to, let's say you're in a reasonable position overall, still have your 3 trades or your 4 trades, or you're pretty low on trades.
Okay, well, yep.
You've gotten to a position where you're in a spot where you're pretty comfortable with in the overall sense. What changes?
So say I'm like maybe at top 100 or...
Yeah, top 100, top 360 or whatever you are.
And I've got 4 trades?
Yeah, you're low on trades.
I'd probably try to work out the points difference of how far it is for me to get there and whether I think it's realistic to get there. If you're that close, you pretty much probably want to have a go because it can be hard to get that close again. Consistent super coaches can find it fairly easy to sort of make the top 1,000 every year or so if they're, on their game. But if you're around that spot and it's not somewhere you haven't been there before, I'd probably say throw it all to the wind. Try get a couple of good pods.
Yeah, that was where I was getting at. Do you go the pod route? Do you go to try and keep up with guys? I've got 7 trades. I'm at 360. I'm trying to set a realistic goal. if I can finish top 100, I'll be pretty happy with that.
You're in a
I
nice
think.
spot. The scenario for the 4 trades, they'd have to, if they're going hard now in the idea of the Supercoach being a marathon, they're now sprinting if they're going to start pulling their trades. So they might pull 2 this week, 1 next week, and save 1 for an emergency.
My theory is, and my strategy at the moment is in my situation with 7 trades sitting in the top 500. I think if I can hold rank for these next 2 or 3 rounds at least, trade a little bit where I can. If I can have 3 or 4 trades going in those last 2 or 3 weeks, I think that's going to be the time where I make up a lot of ground. There'll be guys that have rest, there'll be guys that get injured, like big guys that lots of people that have high ownership.
Yeah.
And if I'm able to trade them out for another gun that has a good matchup those last 2 weeks, and other people aren't, they're sitting on 700,000.
Yeah.
As in 700k player that isn't playing and they can't trade him out. I think that's where I'm going to make my ground up, and that's my strategy. And I hope you approve. And that's why I brought up this kind of topic.
I like where your mind's at, but just I've sort of had that sort of mentality of things before. Like wait to the last week because everyone's going to probably, have used all their trades. There will be probably at least one side that has the luxury of resting. I don't think there'll be a great deal of resting.
Different this year, isn't it?
Yeah, because of the nitty gritty of the competition. It's pretty much probably going to mean, like for each side, do they make the top 4? Do they, and if they win that game, are they going to play Penrith or are they going to play? They'll get to know who they might play and that sort of stuff. So they're probably going to want to run most of their players out. So maybe not so many restings, but more. There are just like suspensions coming out of nowhere. There's injuries left, right, and centre. So I think there's still a good opportunity for you to make ground in that last week. But
I think the resting will be sporadic as well. Like it'll be.
I'd still want to make moves casually.
Yeah.
Like as you're going along now, like if you see something, take it because in 1 week you're only going to make up, say, 300 points maybe on a guy that's team's gone to absolute crap or something like that. Say he's, instead of 17, he's got 15 players. He doesn't have one of the great captain options because of he just doesn't have them and stuff like that. Then you can sort of make up a little bit. If you start making the moves now, you make up 60 points here, 70 points there. Add that up over the next sort of, 6 rounds?
6 including this one, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
My maths isn't right there, but
so yeah, I'd sort of say with you, if you see someone, bring him in. You can't make all your moves in the last week. You will make up some ground, but try anticipate maybe teams that just definitely won't be able to rest players.
Yeah.
And bring them in if they've got high attacking upside.
There'll be a lot, I think. And with the runs home, there'll be a few that won't be able to afford to rest them in those teams that are on the fringe as well. We're going to move on quickly. The hot topics, I'm going to focus a lot of it around the guns today. We're at that stage where we're just trying to bring in what guns are we going to bring in, who are we going to bring in, who do we like, who do we not like. I'm going to start with David Fafita.
Yeah,
I'm one that doesn't have him at the moment, and I sold him that while ago when everyone sold him. And for a while there, I was really, really worried. But now he's at 795,000. He's got a break even of 144. And just listen to his run home here for a second.
Yep.
He's got the Cowboys, who 5 weeks ago you would have said, okay, that's a good matchup, but now they're flying. We don't know. He's got the Warriors, who again going really well. Cronulla obviously have dropped off. Still have the potential to go all right. The Titans will likely be bottom 8 side. We know what the Sharks like against those guys. We've got Penrith, we've got Melbourne, 2 of the elite sides in the comp. They've got the Bulldogs to finish. Is Fafita a fade? Do we get him? Do we not get him? What are your thoughts at the moment? Do you have him? You don't have him.
No, I do have him. Yeah, I got him and Grant the week, the last buy round, sort of to have them early, so I could then strike on getting one of Nathan.
Okay, well, should I rephrase that question and say, do you regret it?
I would if I would have probably done something different 2 weeks ago had I known he was only going to get 60 and 57 respectively. I still think that he's like, what's ownership? See, 35% of teams. That's huge. I don't know what the top, say 1% of teams ownership. They'd be saying worth checking out Derusi stats or something like that to find that out. But I'd say do it, man, because he's just the one thing that can absolutely hurt you. Otherwise, you're just death riding, hoping he goes terrible, and then I don't think it's likely. I think if he's having 60s in bad games, he's been so good all year. I don't see why he'd just a couple of slower games after the Origin period for sure. They're not really in the in the hunt. Like they're a chance, the Titans, but they nearly almost have to go on a
run. I guess it comes down to the question is if you think he's a guy that's matchup proof or not. Like if you think he has enough history of going large that it doesn't matter who he's playing. I think Penrith's the only one there that is like really, really like he's not. There's a like really solid chance of not scoring well. The others I can still see him scoring well against. Who would
you if you weren't going to get him? Like who would you have?
That's the other thing. I think the elite second row forwards.
Are you happy with your second row?
At the moment, I'm pretty happy. I need to get one. I think I need to get one in this week, just with the Warriors resting. But the guys that I do have aren't guys like a Fafita that can go 100 plus. Nicaragua was one that probably could, but now that he's kind of on the downward spiral, I don't know what's going on there. But the guys I have there, I'm happy with. But it's like your Horsburghs, it's your Tohu Harris. It's those guys will get you, maybe 70, 80 points, and you'll be chuffed with it. But he could be the breaker. He could be the difference. He's 85% owned in the top 1%.
85%.
85%
wow.
in the top
1%. That's a big difference, isn't it?
Absolutely. So, I don't know. It's a tough one. I just want to check how many people are trading him in this week.
Like, I just feel like it's just safe just to plug him in and try and make up ground elsewhere with anti-potting other players.
Yeah.
Just because he, like, even on a bad day, he's still going to score well for you. So even if you pay that 7K or whatever it is, 700K, the 60s is still worth it. They're not going to pump out scores where you go, ugh. So I'd do it. And then he could very easily have a game where he scores 2 tries, 3 tries, and then see you later.
I like it. Next one on the list, we've got Scott Drinkwater, the man of the moment. The $1 million man. Should you spend the $1 million or not? Are the Cowboys the real deal? I think is the overarching question here. Because I think if they are, and you're in a position to do so, I think you should be getting him as one of your fullbacks to finish off the year. Yeah,
it's so crazy how much their form just changed around the State of Origin period. Like it's like they all started to remember that they're elite, and the ones that are elite, and let's start playing well. Let's have a look at their draw. So they've got.
So I've got it here. I think they might have.
Titans, Broncos,
Cronulla, Dolphins, Penrith. So bit of a mixed draw, but I don't hate it for them.
Yeah, there's some tougher ones. Like you think the Broncos.
They've got the bye around
tough,
24
Penrith,
as well.
Tough.
Break even 146. I don't think money's the issue though. If you're going to.
The only game I think that stand out. Like would be really nice matchup, like super nice, is the Titans one.
Yeah, I think,
and even the
Dolphins
Titans
are
probably like better form in what's that this week? I reckon than with. Oh no, they still got thingy out, don't they? Yeah, look, it's a nice matchup.
There's no point. Let's say you've got 2 trades left.
For that price, I wouldn't be paying it.
You don't think so? But then, like you say that when he's at 700, you say that when he's at 800.
He's now a mil, yeah.
You're going Scott Drinkwater now. No, I'm not going to spend it. And then he's going 100.
I've had a big soft spot for him. I had him last year as well, and even when people were laughing at him saying he's crap, and I like him. I think he's just an attacking little pocket rocket. But yeah, he does have low scores in him.
Out of his last 7 rounds,
to maintain that form for as long as he has, it's pretty much turbo levels of 2021. I don't think it's going to. I think he'll still play well. I just don't think he's going to match the price tag that he's at.
In the last 8 rounds, he's got 2 scores of 95 and a score of 86. The rest have all been 100 plus.
Yeah, I reckon that'll probably fizzle off a little bit. Yeah.
So you're saying, Timmy, the champion, is saying hold on Scotty Drinkwater. We'll move on to the next one.
Nice pod for those who have him.
Kalen Ponga. Is he the next $1 million man? He's at $965,000 at the moment. Break even of 84. He's got a nice enough run. If the Sharks keep doing well, they're probably the only team that can kind of challenge him in there.
Do like his run. Also, the fact that he's got goal kicking as well, I'd say is worth maybe closer to that $1 million price tag. The draw's a lot nicer. So Canberra's a respectable matchup. It should be a good game.
Dolphins have been poor.
But Dolphins and Bulldogs, you think that's good for him. South, a little bit tough. Sharks, I think they can
Who
still
knows?
put
Who
points
knows
on
where
there.
you can get- yeah.
And then to finish the year off, you got the Dragons, which is really nice for Ponga.
Really
so-
juicy. You're playing like three of the four bottom teams kind of thing going into the last 5 or 6 rounds.
Yeah.
I don't have him, and it's the one that really hurts me because every week is a vice captain option, is a captain option.
I'd be way more inclined to get Ponga than
Drinkwater.
Yeah.
And would you play him in your, like, obviously it depends how your
Whatever
team's
suits
set
your
up.
team
Yeah.
balance about. Like you might have guys you really want downstairs or upstairs, but
Oh, you want Ponga downstairs?
yeah,
Jesus.
I've got him at fullback. I'd probably say I'd have him at 5'8" though. Hey, just considering
Okay, so then
if the idea of the better side, I think you'd probably have ideally Latrell. Like if you could afford Latrell in your side, I think he'd be great to have for the run home. Like a Walsh, maybe. Like if you've already got Drinkwater, that's amazing. You've taken up that spot. Teddy's not bad. There's some pretty decent fullback options there.
So that was next on my list. Is who are the fullback options? What are we thinking? Latrell named this week? I don't know if it's smoke and mirrors again. If he's going to be laid out, or if he's going to play. I don't like the Latrell early play. I think he's the type of guy that might need a couple of weeks to kind of get into it. I don't know how much. I don't want to say how much effort he's going to put in because he'll obviously try to win games for South, the position they're in, and it probably requires him to have to do that. I'm just not sure at 800k with a break even at 135, despite the juicy draw. Like they're playing the Tigers this week. The Tigers are paying $9.80 to win.
I saw something in some message when I was working. I was busy working today. It was just some chat or some message on social media that said something about Latrell being out, and I don't know whether that's. I didn't get to look into it, so just keep an eye on that. It might be a thing again. But if he is playing this week, it's pretty nice.
Yeah, it's a nice one this week, and they do have a good run. It's just if you want to take the punt on a guy coming back from what was originally a minor calf injury, and he was going to play Origin 2.
I reckon if they've been patient on him, he'll be all right.
Okay.
I think you got to be kind of confident just to take these risks with, at this point of the year too. Yeah, you want to see him come back, but if he does play and it's against the Tigers, he might come back and just really. I like players on a return.
As a head-to-head guy, does the round 26 bye worry you much with a guy like that?
Yeah, that would concern me. I'd be sort of probably if I was head-to-head focused mostly. Had's mum's calling.
Sorry, mum.
And yeah, no. So I would say for head-to-head people, I'd be reluctant on that.
Is he in your plans as one of your last?
No, I've just decided I can't afford him. I'm a sort of should be in C grade or something like that for Supercoach at the moment. So
he's I think he's the most traded in this week, Latrell, after
makes sense. Yeah, I've got Teddy there, which I like. Teddy did very well last week. Looked very good for Supercoach. Returned, looked like the old Teddy. Playing the Broncos this week, which is a tough matchup. And I was, Sav's also got Teddy.
I got Teddy as well.
Yep,
this
you
week.
got him.
Yep.
So yeah, I was a little concerned a lot more people would be bringing him in, but just with the fact that I think people are keen on other options, he'll probably stay a bit.
Yeah, I think their run home in general is nice, and it's going to even out eventually with like a Latrell that's playing the Tigers this week. I sold Gutho to Teddy last week. I know Gutho did well. It might be time to cash Gutho down to like you make money going Gutho to Latrell. You make almost 100k, I think, or something like that. It's the crazy amount of money that Savs and I made last week. I don't think Savs had Gutho, but Gutho to now. Okay, I'm sorry, everyone. Next on the list, Nico Hines. Are you worried? You sold him. I don't think it was out of the. I don't think you were worried about it. I don't think that's why you sold him. What do you think? Where do you think he goes? Like. Break even of 144, one of the top traded out players this week.
Yeah, I'd be worried about not having Nico Hines if everyone or someone else or anyone else was able to have Nico Hines, SJ and Cleary. You can't have all three.
Yep.
I've got two of the three. Everyone's going to have probably two of the three, and I'm happy with the two of the three I got. I like SJ's run home. I think it's going to be really good. He's got a great vibe around him. I'm a Penrith boy. I want to cheer Nathan. It sucks I can't have Nico on my side. You can't have them all. And yeah, I think it makes Supercoach exciting to
absolutely
death ride a gun.
Yeah, that's good. And having three elite kind of halfbacks this year is something we haven't had for a little while. Just on the SJ train, You obviously like him. You've got him. Would you spend the trade to go to a Nathan Cleary at this stage if you had a Hines-Cleary combo, or would you go do what you did and go Hines to Cleary?
I don't know. Like
Does that make sense?
Kind of. Are you saying would you still sell Hines to Cleary?
Yeah. After what we've seen the last couple of weeks, and
I mean the
Warriors
start was a
up.
bit slow. I feel like I don't want to beat on Nico. I think he's like a great player and he's a super coach gun and he's lead. I'm not trying to say he's like a has been or anything like that. Like he's pretty close to a must have. But I just think just because there is a little bit of like confidence issues there at the moment, you could just kind of put that into the pros and cons.
To put it in perspective, I know they got the bye this week, but Sean Johnson's second most sold player this week.
The reason I think I would consider selling Hines is just because of this matchup alone.
Yep.
I think Penrith will keep Nico to a 40 to 70.
Yeah,
I think
agree.
you'll be stoked if you get a 70 out of him.
Just put it in perspective for everyone listening. Timmy, obviously, we're all over the draw. But the Warriors draw, I know they've got the bye this week, and that's not so much a chat for this week. But just if you're considering these moves in the next couple of weeks coming up, the Warriors finished with the Titans, the Tigers, Manly, who are actually, I think, starting to play some decent footy.
Yeah.
The Dragons and the Dolphins. So not a single other top 8 team left to play this season. They sit in the top 4, Timmy. I don't see how they come out. I don't see how they are in the top 4, aren't they? I don't see how they drop out of that. I personally think they don't lose another game all year.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they'll be a top 4 side. I'm just hoping they don't go too well that it gets to the point where they know where they're at by round 27, like they're guaranteed to make third and they can't get to second or they can't drop out of the, something like that. Hope that's not a scenario. I will only have 3 of them, which won't be too stressful if that's the case.
You have SJ,
Tohu, and I'll probably get Chance, as I said, next week.
Are you Tohu most traded out this week? Are you?
I'm a little worried about that.
Worried?
But the only concern, I was really thinking about trading him out today when I was driving about with my work, and it just sat with me though. Apparently he's been sick. I thought, look, another week off is exactly what he needs. Just a week off, put his feet up, replenish, and he'll probably come back and be the old Tohu we know, pumping out the minutes, pumping out 80s and 90s. So I'm going to hold.
Does it intrigue you that you can go Tohu to Cam Murray, bank about 60K? Murray's last 3 scores, 56, 86, 76, have that good run home.
Yeah, I like Murray as an option.
I
don't necessarily think Tohu's a sell, though, but I do think Murray's a nice option.
Yeah, I agree. Breaking in at 13. He's one of the most traded in this week. And then just finally, back to the Warriors. You said Chance over DWZ. I want you to sell Chance to me. I want you to tell me why you're thinking Chance.
Okay, I haven't been on him, like even pre-year when he was like, I've always rated him as a football player. I just never thought he had the attacking upside. And that was all year. And even with people bring him in and out throughout the year, and he'd sort of have little good periods. But just watching him closely over the last couple of weeks, particularly since being an SJ owner, he's just playing really well alongside SJ. SJ's creating a lot of space, doing a lot of the work with the way I look at football. I like to watch the halves, and particularly, the hooker and the halves is what I watch particularly. But I see SJ's doing all this work, Chance is chiming out the back, doing a draw and pass and getting try assists. And then he's getting quite a lot of them. And he outscored SJ about, I think it was 2-3 weeks ago. And I felt like SJ had a better game for footy, but for Supercoach, Chance got more points. I thought, he's a really good target option just on the back of SJ. But even over the last couple of weeks, I've been watching Chance as an individualist, separating him from like what he's doing with SJ, and he's got some really great moments where he's, got attacking plays in him that he's creating on his own. He's got a lot of work in him. I just don't think he'll be let down by his scores. I don't think there'll be small ones. It's a big price, but with the draw, I mean, I wouldn't say he's going to be a super coach gun going forward for the next few years. But with this draw from this period to the end of the year, I think he's done.
It's tempting, especially if I'm a guy that still has Talakai. I'll get to it in a second when we go through team lists, but I was kind of hoping Talakai would kind of move into that left edge spot that the Sharks had. I think they were pretty poor last week, and the flow down that left edge, which has been, I know that's been their biggest defensive lapse, like the side that lapses the most. But I was kind of hoping Talakai would sneak into that spot a little bit, and he hasn't. So for me to be able to go Talakai to a guy like Chance, not sponsored by Voss. Thanks, man. Kind of not spending too much. It's only going to cost me 40 or 50K. I think that's something I'll be looking at next week. But let's get on to team list.
How many Sharks do you have?
I've got Mulatalo, Talakai, Nikora, and Hines. So I don't know what to do. Mulatalo's kind of at that, and we'll get to trades shortly, but he's kind of at that stage where, like, he's only 480K or something like that.
Yeah,
now.
I think he's probably, you just keep him.
448. And they haven't got a whole lot of, like, really, really nice matchups left. And
Unless you've got the funds. Like, if you've got the funds just to move him out and then upgrade him and spend an extra 200K to get someone you want, probably do it.
I've got 234 in the bank at the moment with 7 trades left. So there's a bit of flexibility in terms of what I can do. Just with the Warriors having the bye this week and me relying on Fanua Blake and Tohu and Ford the last few weeks, who's actually kind of done it right for me. I was going to sell him and I ended up having to keep him. He's actually worked out all right. I think I'm going to have to get a second rower, so that's probably not going to allow me to be flexible down in that centre wing spot. But Talakai's a guy, I was pretty chuffed that he got dropped off the bench last week after not getting that left edge spot.
Helpful.
But I thought he would just because I know that combo with, like, obviously Moylan was gone, but the combo with the Mulatalo outside him or something might have helped him. But not to be. Let's get to team list. Wasn't a whole lot for me. I might have missed something, but let me know. Broncos, Roosters, Tapau's out after that knee to the whatever it was on Campbell Graham
I think
the other
you've
day.
been watching Joseph Sewell. He
I
take
know.
too many return
Apparently,
kickoffs.
they were saying he got a warning or something the week before or during the week from the NRL saying you've got to be
funny,
careful
eh?
doing this.
He's like, yeah, you want to see a knee? I'll show you a knee.
Yeah, I'll let you know. So Teddy, fullback again, Manu in the centres, who's been a nice performer for me the last couple of weeks. Carrigan back to lock. Brendan Piakura, for those that held, I don't know if you still got into me back in the second row.
No, didn't end up getting him. I would have liked him.
Yeah,
but yeah.
And Radley back in the 13 with the Butcher brothers lining up, who had a pretty productive weekend. Not much to see there. Anything for me, Timmy?
No, nothing special. I'd say this one, I don't think there's much like captaincy options in this one. I just think Thursday night game, I don't really particularly. You could go Reece Walsh, but if you've got him.
I think the Roosters, like, I don't want to say they turned the corner because they beat the Titans, but
they look better.
They did look much better on the weekend. And if that can kind of continue, then maybe it's the time. We got Teddy in expecting the Roosters to kind of kick a little bit, and this is when he and the Roosters kind of usually get a little wriggle on. Maybe that's the start of that. But who's winning that game?
Oh, look, I think it's going to be competitive for sure. I'm probably going to say Brisbane just based on the fact it's their home ground and
is it at the Gabba, not at Suncorp, because of the Women's World Cup.
Yep, okay. Still in Brisbane.
Yeah, I agree. We'll see how we go.
Sydney, Roosters still got to fly up. But yeah, I think the Roosters can really take it to them and make it a close one.
Next one coming to you from Tamworth. The West Tigers play South Sydney. South's short price favourites. Latrell named. He was named last week, though, I believe, and was a late-ish withdrawal. Charlie Staines lines up on the wing for the Tigers. Wakeham out, so we see Luke Brooks return. Laurie holds that 6th spot. Walker's there. Not too much from the south side. Tane Milne's on that wing. I was hoping to see Munro line up there with that. Coming into his 3rd game. I've still got him down there at 200k. He's on a negative 90 break even. So I'm not 100% sure what's
That's
kind
annoying.
of
I
happening with
really
him.
thought, like, the way he was playing,
It was almost going to be an option to play. Like, I would have played him this week over a Mulatalo.
He must be still like have a bit of a niggle, right?
I can't remember what it was originally, but I held AJ, and I'm looking forward to this matchup. Hopefully,
it's a good one.
Rolls over. I can't see Souths losing.
I would have liked to have Munro for this one
100%.
too. Jeez.
I just kind of assumed he was.
I was planning on playing him too over the Sharks boys.
Absolutely. Well, I think I'm going to sell one of the Sharks boys this week, reluctantly, but I think it's just my hands forced into it. Next up, Melbourne play Parramatta. Meaning at the back, heard rumours of Pappenhausen on Twitter saying that he's going to be back in a couple of weeks. I can't see him taking Meaning's spot. Meaning's been a relevant guy over the last few weeks. Probably hasn't quite kicked. Saz was trying to get me to buy him, but I went elsewhere. Gutho, he's there. Olam's out. Asafa Solomona out. Sean Lane out. Not a whole lot of Supercoach relevant stuff going on there. Harry Grant. Timmy, you have him. Do you think he finishes as the elite hooker?
I
for the
prefer
back
to have
end?
him over others. I think that if you've got other players to bring in, and you've got a decent enough hooker there, maybe Cook or Robson or whoever,
Brayley,
yeah, you probably get away with it.
Yeah.
You don't have to do it, but I just think on a big game he does, have the ability to sort of chalk up a lot more points than the other boys.
I know Melbourne played poorly last week and got done by a Knights side who haven't been great all year. But I can't see them not kicking towards the back end of the year and making a run into the finals. Interesting, your man Eli Katoa finally back coming off the interchange. I think I got rid of him a fair while ago, but funny how Supercoach works. Hopgood 13, Madison off the bench. That's all I've got for you. Cam Munster. Is he even the best 5/8s to finish the year, do you think? With the likes of Ponga, Walker.
He went pretty well last week, didn't he? I remember watching him with Savs on Saturday. What did he score?
97, I think.
And how much is he now? You got that up in front of you?
I can get it up in front of me.
Something I'm considering.
646. I think the price is right.
Geez.
I really wanted him this week. I can do it. I can go Talakai to Munster this week, but I just think I need to get a second rower. I haven't had a proper look at my side and how it's set up, but just with this Warriors bias is really, really limiting my options. So I think I'm going to have to go for feeder, but I've got Manu still in my 5/8.
Munster,
slot.
I think I'm going to do this week. That's where I'm leaning to at the moment. Just my plan had been to sort of bring Manu down to the centres so I could strengthen the centres up, and that will strengthen the centres up and also strengthen my side up by having Cam as well.
They
And
do
he's
play
affordable.
Penrith the week after this one.
Yeah, I feel like he's kind of, as much as Munster is, I feel like he doesn't have massive ceilings. I feel like he scores like 90s, 70s, 60s. He'll take whatever he scores.
Yeah, averages 79 against Parramatta. So doesn't mind playing Parramatta. His last three scores, 65, 91, 121. So doesn't mind playing them, but he averages 62 against Penrith. And they got Canberra the week after. He averages 64 and a half. I think he can. I think the prices right now, I don't think that changes a whole lot. Like he's got a break even of 50. I think he might go up a little bit, but I don't think it's a desperate must-have play this week.
I don't even think he's a must-have to finish with either. I think it just depends on your side as well. And he's a nice own because he doesn't too often get a yucky score. He's usually in enough to score well enough. I just feel like more often than not, he never has that really high one where you're like, yes. So he's not really a captain option either. But, someone you
Does
have to
step
have.
up for the big games. And
We like big game players.
Melbourne definitely need him to the next few weeks. I'm actually looking forward to this game IRL, in real life. Canberra play Newcastle. Newcastle played some good footy over the last couple of weeks. Canberra's been up and down, a hell of a game, hell of a finish to the Warriors game the other day, coming back and almost stealing it, getting that try on the bell. Ponga stays at fullback. Your man, you were mentioning the other week, I was listening to an old pod just in preparation for my hosting duties today.
Oh, right.
Just to, warm up a bit and
of course.
get going.
Get
And you were
juicy
talking
going.
about how much you love watching Matt Tomoko play. He holds that centre spot. Greg Marju, my man, the Marsupial. I'm trying to get that to stick, but it's not working.
I like that.
Daniel Saifidi out. Again, not much else going on. Supercoach-wise, Corey Horsburgh holds that spot. I think he's a keeper year round. If you've got Joe Tarpanay, I think he's a hold all year round. But I probably wouldn't be targeting any of these guys this week unless you really have to.
Yeah, I think some of these...
Oh, sorry, Ponga, if he's in your plans and you're able to afford him, obviously. But apart from that...
even if you still want a Marju or something like that in your side, you could still. It's not like it's a dream matchup or anything like that. It's not a terrible matchup. I think it will be a good game of footy, but I think there'll still be some points in it. It won't be a super high scoring, but it'll be enough attacking it for the good Supercoach scoring players to get attacking points.
Brilliant. We'll fly through it. Next one, Dragons play Manly and buy out. He's off to St Helens or something. Not that he was worth anything. Josh Alloway. Josh Alloway and Paseka out. Paseka MCL. I don't know if many had him, but he was sneaky there for a little while. David Cherry Evans in almost career best form. He's bloody playing brilliantly. Josh Schuster in the 6 still manages to keep a spot in my team. Matthew Lodge starting the train and trial $2,000 man. That's apparently how much he's getting paid or something. It's ridiculous. Jack DeBellin's in. He's been solid without being spectacular. Bullimore gets a bench spot. Kepi's on the bench. Aaron Woods, not much happening. Benny Hunt, not much going on. As I said, teamless this week.
I feel like Matty Lodge is one of those blokes where if you were just watching the footy on the weekend and you just ran out for the Bulldogs or something, you just wouldn't bat an eyelid. You'd just be like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
You just ran out for a different club each week. You'd be like, that's fine.
Yeah. Ruben Garrick, you've got him?
No, I don't. No.
He's been good without being exceptional. I'd really like him to kick because the guys that I kind of had planned, I wasn't really going to touch my centre wing much in this last little run into the season, but the guys that I had planned that I thought were going to do really well running into it and being keepers,
a good one this
they're
weekend.
They're kind of plateauing a bit. Good one this week, hopefully. The Roosters can definitely score against them. Then he's got Penrith and the Warriors. The Warriors after today, my new second favourite team. They're just flying.
I think they're everyone's.
And then they've got the Dogs and the Tigers to finish. So I'm just going to hold strong with Ruben Garrick and just fingers crossed.
How good's their pre-game shenanigans that goes on? Like, they turn the lights out, like the other team run onto the field, and then the lights go out, and you think it's like
the Undertaker or the Boogeyman.
Yeah, you're like, oh, what's going on the lights off?
The WWE.
Yeah.
Penrith play the Sharks. Only real change for Penrith is Tago out again. I feel sorry for a lot of the people that brought him in 2 or 3 weeks ago. He was a popular purchase. Peachy stays on that edge. I don't know how many people are still holding Peachy, but gee, it'd be handy because he keeps falling over for a try every second week. Loves it, doesn't he?
Doesn't like to pass at all. But I've heard people talking about that, but I really noticed the poor.
Yeah, but I don't think there's been many opportunities missed. I'm critical of people that say that centres don't pass much because the amount of times because if the centre pass and he's in your team and then the winger gets tackled over the sideline, you're going, the dumb centre fucking passed it.
Yeah, of course. It's not even a thought for him. The poor Tito's just out on the wing, standing there just with his hands. That's right. The whole game.
Zach Hosking takes the spot of Luke Garner on the bench.
Sweet.
That's
awkward. I thought it was good when I thought it was going to be in the side, but on the bench is a bit awkward.
Do you still have him?
Yeah.
He's probably a sell then, I imagine, if you still have him. Yeah. Which could be a decent cash grab anyway. He's worth enough that you can sell him. Talakai on the bench for those owners like myself. I'm getting rid of him this week. Nikora, fingers crossed, he managed to tackle some people and not score too many tries, but still get a decent Supercoach score as a Panthers fan. Selfishly, Trindle holds that spot. Moylan's still out. Tracy holds his spot. The Sharks we've spoken about a lot already. They're the talk of the town at the moment. Who knows what's going on with them? We were saying the other week how many Sharks is too many Sharks, and now I'm saying how many Sharks is too many Sharks because I think I've got too many Sharks at the moment. Timmy, what you've spoken about Kennedy. You've spoken about...
Yeah, Kennedy found some form. He looked okay. I still wouldn't want to have him this week, like against the Panthers. I wouldn't be playing him. This is a game that he definitely gets like a sub 50 and probably more likely a 29-ish sort of score.
This could be one of his negative scores again, I reckon.
Maybe. I don't know about that. You'd have to, possibly.
We'll quickly move on because we're running out of time. The Dogs have chopped and changed their side. They've got loads of changes. They've got Perham, Topney and Alan Motti are out. Kikau comes back into the starting side. Avarillo's at the fullback. Addo-Carr's back. Did I say that already? Addo-Carr's back. Sexton's playing 7. Reid Marnie back on the starting side. Apparently he's had some disc issues in his back. Raymond for Tyler Mariner, even though he's been told he's leaving the club, he's in the 13. Flanagan off the bench. Not much going on there. The Dolphins, Valence Safari in the centre. Sarko's on the wing. Hammer back at fullback. Ewan Aitken starting in the centres. Cody Nikorima in the 6, who I know a couple of holding him up in the hooker spot somewhere. Marshall King named, who knows what's going on there. Lemuelu starting again, Milford off the bench. That's a bit of a poo-poo game.
Yeah, it's great for Azarko owners because I think
I agree.
us Azarko owners have had it pretty tough for the last
Tough couple
2
of
weeks.
weeks.
Yeah,
We'll
I think it was a bye and the Panthers.
Yeah, and then
So,
it was not
very nice.
It wasn't great.
And then having Valence Tavade sort of stinting the attack, I guess, with not passing on as well as Brenko does.
Yeah.
What's going on there now? Who is back there? Is Brenko back?
No, Ewan Aitken is
And
back.
Tuari.
So I don't know what side. I don't know who's going to play where, but
I think
it'll be the same as it has been.
Yeah, Aitken left, Tuari, right.
We'll move on quickly. The Cowboys absolutely flying, playing the Gold Coast. This one hurts. This one really hurts. The Drinkwaters, the Holmeses, the Tommy Deere. I remember Sav saying he was going to buy Tommy Deere and who's been flying. Reece Robson's there. The only one that's out really from last week is Jeremiah Nanai. I don't know how relevant he was though. For Feeder, Joe Stimson, not much going on.
How much is this Finu Feki and how many Finu Fekiaki?
And how long's Finufeki Naki going to play?
Yeah, I'll give me information on him. I need a downgrade and potentially a cheapie.
Who's out for them?
That's the Nanai.
That's the Nano one, and he's out for a few because he's out for a few weeks.
All right, cool.
277k, break even of 35. Scores when he plays. He hasn't played more than 40 minutes, and he has once. It was against Penrith. He scored 61 with a try.
Against Penrith.
Against Penrith. I love to see stats when he started. I don't know when I'm just looking at the Supercoach page here. I don't know when he's actually started and what game he's in. But he's usually scoring around just under a point a minute.
I wonder what their plan with him is going to be there because they've got
Jason Taumalolo on the bench. So that maybe Ruben Cotter plays on an edge and Taumalolo starts at 13. Maybe. I don't think he's your man, Timmy, if you're going
I don't
to
think he's either. I think I might just have to look at someone I'm not going to play. But I kind of just wanted to have a little bit of backup. My team is a bit thin, so if it's someone I might be able to use at some point when things get...
I don't know, check the Murray trade. I think Murray is probably not making enough cash off that trade, but he could be a man.
Oh, no, definitely not. But, yeah.
That's Teamless for the week. I've come in prepared with the best bet. I wasn't sure if Savs wanted me to do one. Thanks to PickleBet. Use code TURBO when you're signing up. Know what you're really gambling with. You win some, you lose more. For free and confidential support, visit gamblinghelponline.org.au. My best bet, I'm going to the Melbourne Storm game versus Parramatta at home. I know it's not at Amy Park, but I'm going to ignore that for now. Craig Bellamy's side's coming off a pretty rough loss. I imagine Craig will be pretty dirty on that night's loss last week. I'm going to back them at the line to win, minus 7.5. Melbourne score 41% of their tries on their left side. Parramatta concede 41% of their tries on their right side. I'm liking that match. I'm going Xavier Coates. It was going to be short, but I was kind of hoping you had something for me, Timmy. But
so what are you going to do? The
Melbourne line into Coates to score.
Okay.
I was kind of hoping we could chuck that in with something that you had for me, but it's not to be, so don't stress.
Yeah, I reckon let's not get greedy. Let's see what the good people at PickleBet offers that, and if that's what you
dish
like,
up for us.
Just take that. Yeah.
Timmy, trades. What have you decided on?
Okay, so probably going to finally sell Hosking. I was holding on to him for a little bit, just hoping he might have turned into something. I thought that with Nath coming back, Nath might have got his say and say, I want Hosking there, and that's how it'll work out, but it's not.
Well, I just think with Martin and Sorensen,
it makes sense,
there's not much going on.
So going to boot him probably for a cheap player. Sell probably...
A cheap player you can play, but you're
potentially,
only playing this week
potentially enough. Potentially someone I might want to play this week, just because I am low-ish on numbers this week, based on the fact that Warriors are on the bye, and I consider the Sharks are on the bye as well, playing Penrith. So I don't really want to play them. Probably going to sell Katoa, Sione Katoa, over Ronaldo Mulatua, just because he's 511k Katoa, and the other bloke's only 440. So if I can turn him, I'll turn him into Munster, move Manu down to centre wing,
You can still go Piakura. He's at 376,000.
Don't think it'll allow me the funds. I think I
Okay.
really want to keep enough funds for the next couple of.
He's still got to
two
break.
trades
He's
as
still
well.
got to break even with one, so he's going to make even more money.
Yeah, so my plan is to free up as much cash as I can. So with one more trade to do next week to maybe afford CNK, and then I want to leave that one more trade for an emergency.
Yeah.
So I'll have to do the maths to make sure that that's going to work out. But yeah, before I lock anything in.
Cool.
What are you going to do?
I think I'm going to have to go Talakai. When do the Sharks play, actually? Because, I was dirty last week because I was hoping if they played early in the round that I could catch that shift to the starting side if that does eventually happen. But they've got Wade Graham back this week, so I imagine he'll just start and tackle his nuts off.
With South next week as well too, I reckon. I mean, Titans the week after is pretty nice. You might.
Yeah, I think it's probably time. It's probably time to go.
Talakai.
It annoys me. He's done well for me, but he's going to go while he's got some cash.
Who to?
And through Howarth, who I got as a nuff the other week, I think I'm going to go Dave Fafita.
Yeah.
I'll be able to do it in one trade. It won't leave me with much money, but that'll leave
Reckon you
me.
can get Chance next week still?
Do
you like that?
No, I love. I want Chance.
Yeah.
I just don't know where I'm getting him from, to be honest.
That might present itself. Someone in your team that looks like a keeper might end up getting suspended or injured this round.
Yeah,
So.
I could actually. You know what I'll do next week is I might be able to go Tohu to Chance with Howarth back up to the second row.
That's nice.
So that could work out okay. That'll leave me with 5 trades left, and
That's such a nice position.
I need to go. But then I still need to get Grant.
Oh, you're in a really
But
lovely
I've also got
spot.
Marnie that I can sell to Grant. He's at 500k. He only got 20.
No stress
He only got
there.
20 though, so he's got an 88 break even. So I'm a bit worried he's going to drop a bit of
Yeah.
cash. But I really need a second row this week, and that's just what it is. Captains, vice captains. Who are you thinking might not have thought so much? I'll start. I'm thinking I need to get Cody Walker involved in this somehow against the Tigers. There's a massive chance he goes absolutely ginormous. I'm thinking vice captain Cody Walker, captain Nathan Cleary. At the moment, I think the Sharks bounce back. I think they play better, but I think the Sharks are a kind of level of team. So I was worried captaining Nathan last week, and the reason I didn't want to do it is because he was playing the Dogs. I was worried that we just pass the ball to literally anyone and we'll score a try, and that's almost what happened. Like you saw that Dylan Edwards try, the Brian Toto try, where Dylan Edwards just ran around 2 guys, passed it to Toto, and just ran away and scored. That's kind of what happened, and it was only for a couple of late touches, that nice ball through to Garner. That kind of happened. This matchup I like more because they're a more competitive side. They still leak points though. Their defence isn't great, especially that left side that's been troublesome for them. Cleary's going to be there all night. On Saturday night at Bluebet. I like the Cleary captaincy move this week.
Yeah, I sort of originally when just glazed my eyes over, it's kind of like, I still gave respect to the Sharks, even though they've been a thing that's having issues over the last couple of weeks. I even gave respect to them last week. I really thought they were going to bounce back last week. But yeah, it makes sense. I think, it's safe for at least what he scored last week, like in a 70, 80 couple, be involved in a couple of good attacking plays. The Panthers could just absolutely put the sword to them as well and just, the Sharks could be really low on confidence and be trying to fix these things up, and it just all their problems just sitting there in front of their face, and they all, explode. Like, in this game, I could see it happening. But I don't really like many of the options I've got. I think there's a lot of other good options for other sides. Like, I like the Drinkwater thing.
I don't mind Ponga on a 3 p.m. game. Like, I know it's in Canberra, but I don't hate it.
Yeah,
I actually,
it's a weird week for captains.
I went past it. I went past Ruben Garrick against the Dragons. 5:30 game on Saturday.
Yeah, that's pretty nice with kicking and stuff. I reckon that's the thing. I like that. It doesn't feel like, because he doesn't have that real massive pedigree of some of the other captains we normally do, but based on matchup.
It'll be interesting to see. My decision's probably going to be made off, and I know Saz said to me in the chase, don't base it on percentages of other people in the top 1% and blah, blah, blah. But I think it will be. I think I might have to go the kind of poddish kind of captain option because I'm not going a pod trade. My team's not full of pods. So that's how I'm going to have to
maybe you go a real pod VC, but then maybe...
That's what I'm saying, real differentiate myself. But I can't... The Cody Walker thing, I can just see him bloody scoring 3 tries himself and setting AJ up for 3 as
Yeah.
well. So that kind of hurts a bit. Cool. Now, just to finish, where in the last few minutes, Savs did tell me, he said, run it how you want to, mate. I don't really care. As he
Well,
laid,
he's done a wonderful job, mate.
as he laid on his deathbed on Facebook Messenger, we couldn't get a hold of him. We didn't even know if the podcast was going ahead because Timmy was trying to call him. He wasn't replying to my messages. It turns out he was just asleep. So I've got the one thing to finish, and I don't mind it. I hope Savs doesn't care because I'm doing it anyway. You might have seen all over social media recently, on TikTok, all these trends. I want you to blind rank 5 players for me that I'm going to give you. Do you
Do I
understand
have to
what
close
happens?
my eyes?
No. Okay. So what happens? You obviously haven't seen it, so you're going to rate these players 1 to 5.
Yeah.
But I'm only going to give you 1 at a time, and you don't know what's coming next.
Oh, okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, so I won't know the other. So if you say.
That's
like,
right.
Oh, okay.
If I finish with Andrew Johns, and you haven't left a number 1 slot open, you failed.
So it could end up being real funny.
Yeah.
Fucked up.
So 1 to 5. So first player, Stephen Menzies.
Oh, yeah. The Beaver. Okay, yeah, gun. Good bloke. I'm going to go out of 5. Out of the 5 options.
1 to 5.
I want to put him in the 2.
2?
Yeah.
Second player, Alex Johnston.
5.
5. Next one, Andrew Eddinghausen.
4.
So you've got blank, Menzies, blank, Eddinghausen, and
Yeah.
next one,
AJ.
Brett Morris.
Ooh. 3 available?
3 is available.
Brett Morris, you say?
Yeah, you're saying Menzies is better than Morris.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. So 3?
3.
Yep.
So you've got blank. So this next one's in your 1.
Yep. I'm actually happy with this order too at the moment.
You are. You've done very well. And I'll spoil something at the end, but the last one's Billy Slater.
Ooh.
In your 1.
1.
Happy there?
I've got a 2 though left, don't I?
No, 2 was Beaver.
Oh,
So
yeah,
you've
it
gone-
was 2.
So you've ended up with Billy Slater,
Beaver.
Brett Morris, Andrew Eddinghausen, Alex Johnson, which is the
I
exact
reckon I've
order.
ranked that.
That's the exact order I would have put it in. So I was doing it. I was with Alex Johnson scoring all these tries, and I'm just trying to mock.
That was a really fun segment.
I'm trying to do the reverse mock into him scoring heaps of tries this weekend. I took out who's the top try scorer of all time? I've just had a mental blank.
Of all time?
Yeah.
Is it like an old boy?
Yeah, he's 1965. I was looking it up before. Anyway, but they're the next.
Oh.
They're the next 5 top try scorers of all time.
It's
So,
really goosey not having this right now.
dear me,
It's right on the top of my tongue.
I'm googling frantically. Bear with us. Ken Irvine. So I was like, I'll throw Ken Irvine there. He's like, I just wanted guys around the similar-ish era. But you've done well with that. I think that just about wraps us up. Hopefully I haven't been too much of a pain to listen to. I'm sure I'll be back in the co-pilot chair in the next couple of weeks once Savs recovers. We didn't do questions.
I'll do a couple questions.
So let's do a couple. Sorry, this might go a little bit over time, Savs. Don't. He said run it how I want to run it.
No stress,
so,
yeah.
It is what it is.
You've done amazing. If I was hosting this, I probably would have gone for 5 hours.
Just because you'll be thinking the whole time. So we're just going to run through some real quick questions. If Pappenhausen returns this year, does that make Storm a top-tier contender? I just want yes or no. I'm going to say...
So they need more time with the...
yeah, I'm going to say not because of Pappenhausen, but they will be a top-tier contender.
I don't think they are. I think there's other teams around. Like there's like better top 4 to 5. They're up there though.
Cool. This person, Riley Milton, still has Tino. He's a head-to-head focused player. Do I trade him or keep him for head-to-head finals?
Well, I think if you've got depth and you've got other blokes that you can... He'd be a nice pod to have for the finals too. But yeah, I think if you're lacking strength elsewhere in your side, like you don't have missing a gun elsewhere, I'd maybe do it.
Yep. Now, Jack Mosley has sent us a shitload of questions. Get as many Warriors in as possible. Yes. Not this week, obviously, but going forward.
Well, we thought that about the Sharks and that turned into a bad thing, but I can't see it turning into
not
a bad
against all
thing with
these
them. The draws that good.
Unless SJ goes down, and I think if SJ goes down, I think that affects those
really
around
could
him.
actually, yeah.
Jason
time.
Saab is smoky. He scored 83 on the weekend.
No, I don't think he's a smoky.
Maybe give it to like the Penrith. Like the last 2 weeks they played Bulldogs, Tigers. If you're desperate, then maybe. He's asking if he should sell Drinky. No. If you've already got him, no.
I wouldn't be selling him unless you can fund like the
most miraculous two people.
Everything else that everyone else doesn't have in Supercoach. Yeah, and that's the only guy that you then don't have.
Yeah.
Probably.
Is Payne Haas top forward for the run home? I think he's one of the top options.
Sav's props.
Sav probably doesn't think as much.
I reckon he's top 4 for props. Yeah, like I mean, I'd probably have FB the way he's going.
Yeah.
I even kind of
Horsburgh.
Yeah.
Tarpanay. Like I think it's literally a toss a coin. Those guys are all so similar.
Yep.
And his last one from me is Zach Lomax. Worth a thought. Have you just seen? He's 654k.
No, definitely not.
Plays Manly this week.
Yeah,
he's gone 138, 115 the last 2 weeks.
He has the ability to score well. I mean, he's just got to cross over for a try himself. He's got a little flick onto Rava, kicks goals. But I think there's better options.
Yeah. Who's a must-have for the run home? I think we covered that the whole time. Kobe MB97 is downgrading Wilton. Who's a better buy for the run home? Cody Walker, Teddy, or Campbell Graham?
I'm going to say Teddy because he's a pod.
Yeah, I'm going to say
Cody because he's probably.
I'm going to say Walker if you're not worried about that late buy
and
they have a decent enough run.
Yeah.
Cody Walker or Cam Munster?
Cody Walker or Cam Munster, one or the other.
Not both.
Well, fuck the round 25 thing. If you round 26 thing, if you are head to head, hinges me. Let me just have a real quick look at the.
That's from Chris Too Far.
Let me run my eyes over the South Shore again real quick.
While you do that, I'll go to Kiwi Trent 86 question. Is Asako now a sell with Valence to Far?
Okay, definitely the Bunnies. The Bunnies are like if West Tigers, so Cody's got West Tigers, Sharks, it was still leaky, Dragons, Newcastle, who they'll still put the points on. Yeah, and Roosters. Yeah, cool. Definitely.
Kiwi Trent 86 is Asako a sell now with Valence Tafari on his inside. I think we kind of touched on that. I don't think so. They got a nice run home. He kicks goals. They could score some points.
I feel like you kind of just need to trust your gut on that one. Hey, I feel like he could be.
If he's a guy you need to sell to get a Teddy or a Munster or a...
If you're struggling, you need the value. But then again, their draw is a little better now. Where are we? We've got Bulldogs this week, Newcastle. They've got the Tigers in that. Yeah, there's enough good matchups for him to probably just hold him.
Yep. MK __ultra__. Blore or Preston to Murray worth considering? I think so.
Can you repeat the question?
Blore or Preston to Murray worth considering? Blore's injured,
I'd probably do...
Blore not injured?
Yeah, I'd probably do Blore.
I think Murray's a definite like cut price kind of keeper dude. Like you said, they have a good draw. Sure. Hopefully, you can snag a couple of attacking stats.
And you will be pottish too. There'll just be other people who have way bigger priorities to get in.
Yep. And then Try July's over. Sad face. James _Kraus 117. Timmy, what was your best celebration of round 21?
I'm a sucker for a backflip. Just in any, it doesn't even have to be a try celebration, just be in life. Like anyone just doing a backflip anywhere, it just really excites me. On the beach, just athletic people. So that was pretty nice, like sort of that rewind to Blacklock and Mundine.
And then the chunder from Reece Walsh after it.
Yeah. And then Katoni trying to pull one off. Not as nice, but still... backflip. Yeah. So good.
And then last one, Sam Lilly, centre wings for the run home. Who are you going? Anyone you wish you had that you couldn't kind of have? Anyone you wish you had that you're not going to be able to get.
Yeah, probably. I said I'm going to get Chance. Probably Dylan Wateni-Zelezniak. I'd like to get on that as well.
Who are you running at the moment?
This is embarrassing.
Yeah, that's why I kind of wanted to bring it up.
I'll bring it up. Yeah, fine. So
One Blake's in this week for you, or?
Who? Wonga Blake? Yeah. No. You're pretty much, So I've got Izako, Alex Johnson, Rapana, Munro, Sione Katoa, Ronaldo Mulatua, and Sivo.
Ronaldo Mulatua?
Mulatalo, yeah. But I'm going to move...
Joey Manu's coming down this week.
Yeah, I'm going to move Manu down there, sell Katoa, so it's a little bit stronger.
Yeah, I'm running Marju, Garrick, Gagai, who's been a little...
I'm missing like 3 or 4 gun...
Mulatalo was this week. He'll be... I don't think I'll play... I won't play this week. AJ. I've got Munro really wishing he was in. I've got a Sarko down at my fullback slot and Talakai who'll be going this week. So I'm positioned okay. If I could have anyone, I'm going to get Chance in the next couple of weeks. Dallin will be my next option. I'm just really worried if SJ's like pretty injury prone. I'm worried he goes down. Beautiful. That's a bit over an hour now, I think. So Savs would be kicking us out if he was here. Thanks for listening. Timmy, thanks for being here. Thanks for
hosting, man.
Thanks for putting out with me. Hopefully I did an all right job and I wasn't too painful for you. Yeah, good luck, super coaches, and score well. Do well. Take care.